A little bit similar to the kind of total we talked about yesterday, not commanding, yet not in a position of utter despair. 60 runs on the board at the end of 10 overs for Bangladesh after deciding to bat first against England. What will hurt them a little bit, a lot perhaps, is the 3 wickets that they've lost. Um, the bulk of it inside that power play, 2 for 18 to Moeen Ali, that was the key. We felt maybe they would use him, maybe they wouldn't. Owen Morgan stuck to the formula, and it worked for him. Here on Cricbuzz Comm Box, in the company of Joy Bhattacharjya, we had that lengthy discussion, Joy, between you, me, and Zahid, and we sort of felt that maybe they'd want to go 140 Ks, but he stuck to his plan, and it worked.
It worked. I mean, look, the point of it is that if you remember how he got the batsmen out, they were all trying to hit shots. They were trying to hit him out of the ground. They hit him for 2 fours in the beginning. They were trying to collar him because they knew that he is one of the guys that they can target. Unfortunately, they just got out trying to do it. So it's one of those situations where, you're putting a sort of, it's like almost he was a bait for them. Okay, here's a spinner. Off he, come and hit me. And they went for it and it didn't work.
And that was the wickets that you can see over there. Liton Das was the one who started things off in the very first over. And you thought, okay, this is his day. We're going to see that Liton Das. But then that catch to Livingston that he gave again, trying to hit his way out of trouble. Then Naeem Sheikh followed the next ball. And Moeen Ali was on a hat-trick. But I think the key wicket, Joy, would have to be that of Shakib Al Hasan. Fabulous catch from Adil Rashid. But it was just the presence of Shakib there.
Yeah. It would make a huge difference. Shakib being there would have made a huge difference. Also left, right, a whole lot of things he brings in. Shakib himself would know that the ball just climbed on him a little bit more because he knew this is one of his getaway shots. It's one of his escape shots. He just places it over the fielder because he knows that third fine leg is short. But he just didn't get enough on the ball, and you have to commend the kind of distance that Adil Rashid made on that. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, that effort, and after that, the Timon Mills effort to try and catch Mushfiqur, this Collingwood has made this a spectacular fielding side.
Certainly has, and it's one of those tournaments where we are just about celebrating Devon Conway. We put it down as a catch of the tournament. No one's going to match that. We're not quite saying that he's overtaken him, but you've got someone who's coming close. You already got a little bit of a Hall of Fame forming out there, fielding quality. But really, where do Bangladesh go from here? Because let's remind everyone, someone who would be key to a situation like this would have been Saifuddin. A quick 30 of 20 balls at the end to accelerate. They don't have that.
Yeah, they have Nurul Hassan and Dhruvo now to follow. That's going to be the people, and maybe Mehdi Hassan for a bit. But no, that's really not. They needed somebody else. Saifuddin would be he would have given them far more acceleration, or is used to giving them. I mean, you'll get runs from Afif at 120, 125, but he's not going to give you really, really big runs very quickly because and this is not a small ground. To power things out of this ground, you need strength, and this is not their kind of surface. So that's the one big thing. The other thing is that possibly this must be the first game in this tournament where I've seen two bowlers going 3 overs and 3 overs from each side. I'm not sure. Did England do that? I know they did Moeen on one side, but I think they changed bowlers the other end. Or did they go three for Woakes last time as well?
Well, maybe not last time, but they definitely have used Woakes like this in the past. They like to get rid of him early, not in a derogatory sense, but just giving him that role up the order. So 3 from Moeen gone, 3 from Woakes gone, and they've got a clear plan for the back end of the innings now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the thing, that the moment you can get rid of 3 from Moeen and they feel that, then immediately now, whether Moeen does one more, Livingston does one more, the situation, they could lose a lot of wickets and they may not have to, use him at that particular situation. So anything can happen now onwards. The moment that 3 from Moeen is done, the England batting the England bowling performance is restored. They have a lot more flexibility then. And I think that's their key out here. A very interesting, two boundaries in the first over. And then for the next 9 overs, we've just seen 3 more boundaries.
And you called it in terms of Livingston being the option. He's gone straight to him in the 11th over, which means that if he doesn't want to go back to Moeen, he doesn't have to. He can if there's a left-hander in there, if that's the formula. But yes, he's pretty much used Moeen plus Livingston. That's 1 4-over block out of the way. But from Bangladesh's perspective, again, the one good thing is Mahmudullah, Mushfiqur, this partnership, Mahmudullah in at 5, and that's what we've been crying out for, not to tinker with an Afif or a Nurul Hassan coming up front.
Absolutely. Give your best in this format, give your best batsman the maximum chance to play, something the West Indies made a complete hash of yesterday. So you cannot impress upon people the necessity for people to do that. Give your best players, your most experienced players, as much of a time as possible to play on these grounds. And these are not easy grounds to come in and start bashing from ball one. So that's the so if this rule is true in England and Australia, it's even more true out here.
Well, we've talked about the Combox curse. It has struck again. A wicket has fallen just as we were wanting to talk up the Mahmudullah Mushfiqur partnership. It's a huge blow because Livingston comes in. Whether you call him part time, whether you call him a strategic change, he's got the breakthrough via a review. Harsha's friend Nitin Menon was in the thick of things. He had to reverse his decision, but it's one of those things you'd rather want to reverse a not out to an out rather than the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a big blow to them because there's just so many overs still left. They don't have it, and what's happened is that they've got the wickets from three of their wickets have come from their designated fifth bowler, as it were. Livingston and Moeen Ali, and that would hurt Bangladesh even more. They look at themselves as decent players of spin. God knows they play a lot of it in their part of the world. So yeah, it's something that will disappoint them.
Just to wrap up on Cricbuzz Comm Box, obviously now they're looking at revising totals. We didn't want to commit to a kind of a total early on, either from Bangladesh's perspective or from our perspective. But now that you've lost these wickets, you need to tell yourself, we've got Nurul, we've got Afif, Mahmudullah's out there to steer the ship at the end. Let's try and put something on the board that at least our bowlers can defend. So don't anymore aim for a 160, but let's ensure 135 or 140.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a 135, 140. They'd do very well if they reach your prediction, Gautam, because yes, I think they radically need to downstream it, and the kind of bowling that they'll see from now on is not going to be easy. They're not going to be any freebies in offer.
Also, at least I'm not going to lose too many friends over there because whether they reach my prediction or not, it's going to be on the lower side. So there you have it. It's a struggle, but we know that with Mahmudullah at the crease and what he did in that last game, he's well capable of pushing things on for a good total. We'll see how much they push on to, and we'll assess all that in the mid innings. For now, from Joy and myself, that's all from Cricbuzz Comm Box.